Quickly reaching that place, and falling down as a stick to offer respects to the people there, I entered the temple by the devotee's mercy. From far away, I saw the moon of the Supreme Person's face, a moon with large, glistening eyes, a forehead decorated with jewel tilak, a splendor like a glittering cloud, delightful, glorious red lips, and shining with moonlight of a smile, blossoming with kindness. Although I had a mind to go before him, I was not able. I trembled with love. The hairs of my body stood erect. Tears removed my power to see. Somehow I came to the Garuda Stamba. As I gazed upon Lord Jagannath, who was adorned with splendid garments, ornaments, and garlands, whose eyes and heart were filled with happiness, who gracefully sat on his throne, who enjoyed many offerings of delicious foods, who lovingly glanced at they who were bowing before him, dancing, reciting prayers, playing musical instruments, and singing, and who was the abode of great glories, I suddenly fainted and fell to the ground. Regaining consciousness, opening my eyes, and gazing into the Lord's eyes, I became like a madman. I suddenly ran to embrace the Lord. I called out, "I can now see the Lord I so long yearned to see. My life is a success. My life is a success. I have my Lord, the Lord of the universes." Striking me with sticks, the guards stopped me. Thoughtful and ashamed, I went outside, and there I received Mahaprasadam. After eating that prasadam, I again entered the Lord's temple. There I saw many blissful wonders. My mind cannot measure it. How can my mouth speak of it? There I spent the entire day filled with bliss. At night there was a great festival of decorations and a grand festival of flowers offered with folded hands. Then I left the temple. Enjoying newer and newer festivals in the devotees' company, I was not aware of how the time was passing. It was as if the grief of separation from Brajabhumi had gone away. I heard of, in many accounts, and I also saw directly, Lord Jagannath's great mercy to his servants. Nothing other than gazing at Lord Jagannath pleased me. Even my desire to hear the Puranas' description of the Lord's glories left me. Sometimes I would suffer in body or mind, but when I saw the lotus-eyed Lord, my sufferings were at once destroyed. I thought, I have attained the goal of my life's chanting. For many days I lived there very happily. Then I began to yearn to do some confidential service to the Lord. That desire brought me great anxiety. When, during great festivals, that country's king, who was a great servant of the Lord, came to see the Lord's glorious face, he brought many saintly visitors and filled the gardens. Then poor people like myself were no longer able to see the Lord whenever we wished. Sanatana Goswami explains that the most important of these festivals was Rath Yatra. Someone may protest that this action is not proper for a saintly king. The answer is given that the king brought with him many saintly persons eager to see Lord Jagannath. The gardens were filled with horses and other animals of the king's entourage. One day, when, for this reason, I felt sick at heart, I saw my guru, who was overcome with love as he stood before Lord Jagannath. Sanatana Goswami explains that this was the guru who first gave him his mantra in Vrindavan. He was not able to speak. My heart, attracted by Lord Jagannath's face, I did not see when he went somewhere else. Sanatana Goswami explains that the guru could not speak because he was overcome with love. Searching here and there, one day I found him alone on the ocean shore, dancing and chanting the holy names in ecstasy. Seeing me, falling before him as a stick, offering obeisances, he blessed me embraced me, and, knowing all, mercifully gave me the following instruction. O child, whatever you desire, you should chant your mantra. By its power, all will be fulfilled, beyond what you can desire. Know that chanting your mantra is also service to Lord Jagannath. Have faith and never give up chanting. By the mantra's power, you will become an eternally youthful cowherd boy. Now your heart is worthy to attain that. Sometimes you will see me here, and sometimes in Vrindavan. After speaking these words of instruction, he suddenly left. Distraught in separation from him, I went to see Lord Jagannath. I became strong, and again I chanted. When I yearned to see Vrajabhumi, by Lord Jagannath's glory, the gardens there became like Vrindavan forest, the ocean like the Jamuna, and Nilachala hill like Govardhan. Sanatana Goswami explains that this happened by Lord Jagannath's mercy. Thus I lived happily there. Every day, after seeing Lord Jagannath, I would follow my guru's order and chant to attain my desired perfection. When the king's time was over, his eldest son, a very renounced soul, refused to accept the kingdom. After asking him, by Lord Jagannath's order, looking for the signs of a great king, the ministers crowned me. Sanatana Goswami explains that the king's eldest son refused the kingdom, and the younger sons and other relatives were not qualified to accept it. The king's ministers asked Lord Jagannath what should be done. Lord Jagannath might have said to them, "My devotee, Gopakumar, who was born on Govardhan hill, should be crowned king." Or he might have said, "He on whom the signs of a great king are seen should be crowned king. Seeing the signs of a great king on Gopakumar, they crowned him king." The signs of a king are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 9, 20, 24. Maharaj Bharat, the son of Dushmanta, had the mark of Lord Krishna's disc on the palm of his right hand, and he had the mark of a lotus whorl on the soles of his feet. I expanded the great festivals of worshipping the Lord, and specifically expanded the 12 great yatras, including the yatra to Gundicha. Sanatana Goswami explains that the 12 great yatras, beginning with Dola Yatra, Damanakya Yatra, Chandan Yatra, Jal Snan Yatra, and Rath Yatra, are performed in each of the 12 months. The yatra to Gundicha is Rath Yatra. Coming in groups and meeting here, all saintly persons on earth sang and danced with such ecstatic love they looked like madmen. Personally, living as a penniless man and placing my kingdom and all royal enjoyments at Lord Jagannath's lotus feet, I served him according to my wish. Sometimes the Lord jokes with his dear eternal servants, and sometimes he enjoys loving pastimes with them. When the blissful Lord playfully becomes motionless, the devotees following his pastimes become filled with wonder and bliss. I yearned to become like those devotees. I was a newcomer. My faith was not fixed on Lord Jagannath alone. How could I enjoy his mercy? Sanatana Goswami explains that Gopakumar was attached to Vrindavan. When I thought of the good fortune of the Arisan devotees, I yearned to be like them and became sick at heart. The chanting of prayers, songs, and holy names before the Lord reminded me of Mathura and filled me with pain. By associating with the devotees, I saw the lotus-eyed Lord. Then all my unhappiness disappeared, and I did not wish to go anywhere. Still, because I was a king, my heart could not feel the same bliss it once felt to see the Lord. Surrounded by kings, I could not enjoy the great yatra festivals to my heart's content. Placing the burden of the kingdom on the king's sons, ministers, and relatives, I became aloof as before, chanting my mantra in a secluded place and serving Lord Jagannath's lotus feet to my heart's content. I lived happily. Because the people continued to treat me with great respect, I became very unhappy. One morning I went before the Lord to ask permission to go to Vrindavan, but when I gazed at his glorious face, I forgot everything. A year passed. One day I heard Mathura described by some people coming from there. That night, as I slept, overcome with grief, the Lord, who suffers when others suffer, instructed me. Sanatana Goswami explains that the Lord here is Lord Jagannath. The Lord could not tolerate his devotees' suffering. Lord Jagannath said, "O cowherd boy, as this place is dear to me, so is Mathura dear. Mathura is even more dear, for it is the land of my birth. It is decorated with the places of my childhood pastimes. I still live there, enjoying pastimes." Sanatana Goswami explains that the word childhood here also includes the Lord's adolescence. Lord Jagannath continued, "Why, your heart wavering so, do you suffer? Go there. In time you will see me there in this form." Sanatana Goswami explains that Gopakumar's heart wavered between two decisions: I will stay here, and I will go there. In this way he was filled with doubt and torn between the two. The form the Lord predicts he will see is the form of Madan Gopal, the deity of Gopakumar's mantra. That morning some priests from the temple came to my home and gave me the Lord's order in the form of Lord Jagannath's garland. Tying that garland around my neck and bowing down to offer respects to the chakra, I went to the country of Mathura.